want to share this amazing testimony with you that I found on our website. The name is Walking in Circles Until I Finally Gave Up. I will leave you the link below so you're able to go there and read it for yourselves. So the first thing that just stood out for me was when she said here, I was equal to my husband and I was wrong. She thought she was equal to her husband and she was wrong. Isn't that a mistake that we all make? And later she says when she came across the Standers website, she was so fixated on the testimonies and not on Jesus. This is so true, and it just reminded me as well that we should not be fixated on someone else's restoration journey, and what we should be doing is realizing that He did it for them. Praise the Lord. So He's able to do it for you because He does want to do it for each one of us. And that's where our eyes needs to be on Him and what He can do so His name can be glorified and not on other people and the journey that they walked, although their journey teaches us a lot of lessons. I feel, she said later that I feel like this is the last stop for me. So when she got here, she said, I feel like this is the last stop for me to get help. And I was so tired of going from church to church seeking help. And this just stood out for me so much. And what really touched my heart here is I've read this in so many testimonies that everyone's been looking for help, longing for help until they came to RMI. I praise the Lord every day that I got hold of this ministry so early in my restoration journey. I do believe it saved me a lot of pain and despair and heartache. What I also saw when I read later on is she said here that tithing first to God. Now, the reason this stood out for me is this is one of the principles that was very hard for me to accept. And I only started doing it out of desperation, to be very honest with you. And I can tell you that even doing it out of desperation at first, I'm so glad that I went through with it, because I'm sitting here and I'm a living testimony that the windows of heaven opened up for me after I started tithing. She also said later on that when I really let go of my marriage and stopped focusing on my earthly husband, started seeking my heavenly husband, that's when I had more peace in my heart. Isn't it so beautiful, and isn't it so true? And then just after that, she says, my father passed away in February, and it was a terrible time for my family. Many times is it that something awful happens in your life and this terrible crisis happens to you and it changes your whole situation. It is again just a testimony that His word never returns void. He promises that what was meant to harm us, He will use for good. And then I just want to read what she says here. She says here, never give God a time frame. He works in His own time. We have to trust a God that even though He may be silent, He is still fighting for us. The devil will always try to get us to second guess God. But remember, He is always faithful to His promises. And I want to leave you with that. And I want to leave you with the encouragement that He is always faithful to His promises.